I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, June the 28th, where we had some early fireworks, and it's not quite the 4th yet, but my gosh, some of the guys that sold cattle in the big specials on Wednesday there thought it was 4th of July or Christmas in July, but early feeder fireworks, and be sure and hang on and listen to some of these quotes I'm going to give you out of some of these big sales that had yearling summer specials there off grass and all that happening while fat cattle are going down, but nobody seemed to notice at all. But look at the board on Wednesday. Your August live cattle futures up 30 cents to end the day at 102.72. Your June spot live cattle, even though it ended the day at 106, and I had a sneaking suspicion that that's probably what the market was going to be. And we did establish that 106 on Wednesday, but the spot board actually went up and had a negative basis for the first time ever, I think, up $1.10 to end the day at 107.02. But it's funny, we ran $12, $15, $20 basis on June there forever and still carrying a pretty good one into this week, and then all of a sudden it goes negative basis. But August feeder cattle down 32 cents at 145.77. October down 12 at 146.47. Like I said, your fat cattle trade was established on Wednesday at 106, $2 to $3 lower than the bulk of last week's trade. Not sure if we're going to be able to call that a bottom. I feel like it could probably go down one more time, but we are getting towards the bottom. We're starting to get a little footing here somewhere. The bad thing is we got 4th of July next week, right in the middle of the week. Probably gonna wipe out the Saturday kills for both weekends, completely shut down on Wednesday. It'll be hard to get a full day's work done on Tuesday or Thursday, and going into that week. But next week they probably won't sell any cattle to speak of. Probably won't have a big swing the gates type trade like we had here on Wednesday at 106. It's going to be something just kind of a carryover from this week. And if we continue to have good sales and we have good beef shelf clearance through 4th of July and everything, we might come back and give a little shot in the arm to our cutout values and may be able to hold the bottom somewhere right in there. But 106 started off in Kansas, or actually it started off in the Fed Cattle Exchange. They had 2 pins on there, one in the Northern Plains, one in the Southern Plains. They both brought 106 and traded, and it looked like that's kind of where we are. I'm not saying the Fed Cattle Exchange established the market, but I think everybody had pretty well decided that that's what we were going to get this week, and then it went right on. But Kansas sold at 106, and then later in the afternoon we started getting Western Nebraska and some more Iowa sales in there. Never saw anything come through from Colorado. Had some sales in Texas, a whopping 600 this morning, which that's kind of a big deal for Texas. All those wheeler dealers down here, they don't sell very many cattle negotiated. They just sit back and let the rest of the 5 areas establish their market for them. But 106 in all areas, $2 to $3 lower. Your dress market also established at 170, which was also $2 to $3 lower. Box beef cutout values continuing to fade. Choice cuts 215.30 coming out Wednesday afternoon, down 153. Selects at $200.88, down 69 cents. Your slaughter has been kind of disappointing this week because we had some plants go dark for one maintenance, one thing or another, and we'd like to have a bigger week this week going into the next week's holiday shortened week. But and it's not horrible, but it's not bigger. 350,000 through Wednesday there, and that's 7,000 less than last week and 1,000 less than the same week a year ago. Now let's totally change gears and start talking about our feeder cattle markets. And your real-time index late on Wednesday had gained $3.69 on a 7-day moving average, all the way up to 143.55 based on an 800-pound steer. Your last established CME feeder cattle index was 140-178. So expect it to gain that much or more. Actually, it could gain a little bit more because they're getting that information from Market News, and it's a whole lot easier to pump those load lots of cattle in the northern plains into that weighted average than it is of some smaller groups down in the southern plains. And there was a lot of big sales in the northern plains and different areas that had specials, a lot of cattle in them, and you can listen to some of these prices here in a minute. But don't forget, here on Thursday, Joplin's got a weanback special. They're expecting over 7,000 head there. Be a lot of good program calves in there. Probably have some yearlings on there too. But then they've got another yearling special on Monday for the regular Monday sale in conjunction with the regular sale. And then Tuesday, the day before 4th of July, they've got their biggest primetime video that they've ever had. And it's going to be over at the casino just west of Joplin, Missouri there. And they have a lot of good cattle on that on Tuesday. And you can watch all those sales on dvauction.com. You can, and if you're registered, you can bid on those cattle too there. But let's look at a big sale on Wednesday. OKC West, El Reno, Oklahoma, 10,500 head for the 2-day sale. Most all of them on Wednesday, most all of them yearlings. I think they had around 3,000 calves on Tuesday, but big yearling sale on Wednesday. The feeder steers were mostly steady with some firmness noted on the heavier weight feeder steers. Feeder heifers $3 to $5 lower. The market should be lower, but everybody's having these big yearling specials, and we're establishing the market on summer grass yearlings, and it's not paying any attention to really what the market is, but you'd have to know that the way the board's been down, fat cattle trading lower and everything, if you just had just a basic good honest test of market from this week to last week, it's got to be a little weaker. Calves in OKC West on Tuesday, $2 to $4 lower. If you've got a national beef wire, it wasn't broken on Wednesday if you weren't seeing OKC West come across. Usually those the scroll on the national beef wire is just loaded with El Reno on a Wednesday with all the big strings that they sell on there. They put a completely new computer system in this week, and they've been so busy getting the bugs out of it there so they can have their sales. We have not got a chance to tap into it on Cattle Market Central yet, but we're going to get that done. We'll get OKC West back on there where you can see those individual big strings come through. But auctioneer John Cooper did send me a text on this one lot there. 174 head of steers weighed 970 in El Reno at 136. And that's as good as some of those big premium Nebraska sales we're doing on Wednesday. Dodge City, Kansas had a lighter run, 1,750 head there, and they had a higher market there, firm to $3 higher. But I tell you what, everybody, these feedlots are just aggressively trying to get their hands on as many of these yearling cattle as they can. They've got a few empty pens, has been working through some of the big inventories that they have. They're especially getting aggressive on some of these cattle that are going to be delivered here over the next month or 6 weeks. And into early fall too. But those are the best feeding cattle of the whole year, is these green summer yearlings. They've got some age to them, they got some go to them, the condition's right, they haven't been supplementally fed, and those are the cattle that will absolutely do it all. And your guys that own the feedlots know that they've got to get a fair amount of those cattle in there to go with their hard feeding calves and backgrounded cattle too. But the summer grass yearlings is what everybody wants, and they wanted them in Bassett, Nebraska on Wednesday. 6,900 head. I'm going to give you some of these quotes here, and everybody, and you're going to think, oh, those are some kind of a program deal or a special thing, or somebody's brother-in-law works at the plant, or this or that. No, there's too many of them. A lot of these cattle are just going to be straight commercial cattle, but in those sand hills, a lot of those feedlots will say the highest cattle that they buy through there are some of the best feeding and turn out to be the cheapest in the long run. Now, you'd have a hard time convincing me of that, because the guys I know that fed cattle that made the most money fed junk. But those junk cattle usually end up doing better than you think. But you've got to admire the people that raise the top quality, top genetics, big strings of one iron cattle and do it right, because they can garner the big prices whenever it comes time. But look at this report on the automated report out of Cattle Market Central here from Bassett, Nebraska, through DV Auction here. 6,900 head that they quoted on, and look at some of these prices. 1,920 head of 6-weight steers, average 655 pounds at 176.56 on the weighted average. That is a big number. Look at, they didn't have that many big yearlings there. I think they're saving theirs, their big 8 and 9 weight yearling steers for that July 11th barbecue special at Bassett. But 780 head of 7-weight steers, average 740 pounds at 166.63. That's a big price on a weighted average. Look at a heifer quote. Nearly 1,450 head of 6-weight heifers, average 645 at 157.73. And now look at this individual quote I pulled off Cattle Market Central for you. 96 head of steers in Bassett, Nebraska, weigh 702 pounds at 174.50. A lot of places you'd be hard pressed to get 174.5 for a flat 500-pound steer calf that can walk and talk. They're getting it for cattle weighing over 7 up there. And it's just amazing what some of those cattle bring. Another big premium sale that was selling them good was Green City, Missouri, at the Green City Livestock Market. We did not have them on Cattle Market Central. We'd sure invite manager Steve Evans and the owners there to get in contact with us. It wouldn't be very hard to do to get that up and get you one of these National Beef Wire screens. But still, I'm not going to leave them out, because I want you guys to have as much information as you can get. Tracy Thompson there, one of my old buddies, and a good gal there that covers markets and knows what she's doing. She sends me this information kind of the old-fashioned way, if you want to say that. But look at this card she sent me with load lots of yearling steer cattle on there, and included in one of those is 66 head of 810-pound steers in north central Missouri in the Green Hills at 158. That's your feeder flash for Thursday.